In this video, we are going to look at some problems that involve algebraic expressions, and they're going to help us solve some area problems. So let's go ahead and take a look. Given the height, or we have to actually find the height of the triangle given the area. Well, let's first recall what our formula for area of a triangle is. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Now that we have our formula, let's go ahead and fill in our variables. So A, it tells me, is 5x squared plus 7x. So I'm going to replace A with 5x squared plus 7x equals 1/2. Then we'll go ahead to the base. So here is my base, which is 5x plus 7, and I'm going to put that in parentheses, 5x plus 7. And then my job is to find the height. So I'm going to use the variable h so I can find the height. So the first thing I'm going to do when I look at this problem after I have it written is I'm going to get rid of 1/2. So to get rid of 1/2, I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by the reciprocal, which is 2. So on the left side, I'm going to take 2 times 5x squared, which is 10x squared, plus 2 times 7x is 14x, equals, well, half of 2 eliminates it. So I have 5x plus 7 times my height. Now, if I want to get the height by itself, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 5x plus 7. And the 5x plus 7 on the right side cancels. And so what I'm left with is 10x squared plus 14x all over 5x plus 7 is my height. Well, from here, I want to go ahead and simplify. So my job is to simplify. And we're going to simplify by factoring. Previously in this session, we learned how to factor by taking the greatest common factor. So let's look at the numerator. 10x squared plus 14x. And let's find out what our greatest common factor is. Well, the biggest number that goes into 10 and 14 would be 2. And I can also take a variable of x from both of them. So if I factor out a 2x, I ask myself, 2x times what is going to give me 10x squared? Well, the answer is 5x. Then I move to that 14x. So 2x times what is going to give me 14x? And the answer is 7, divided by 5x plus 7. Well, notice that I have a parenthesis value on the top as the same as the bottom. So those algebraic expressions cancel each other out. So I'm left with 2x is my height. And I want to go ahead and put units with that. So it's 2x feet is what the height equals. So there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. This time we're given a trapezoid, and we're going to find the height of a trapezoid. Well, let's go ahead and write what our equation for area of a trapezoid is. Area equals 1/2 the height, base 1 plus base 2. Now we'll go ahead and fill in our variables. I know the area is x squared minus 16 equals 1/2 the height. I don't know what that is. We're going to use the variable h. And then I'm going to go ahead and take base 1, which we'll say is x, plus base 2, which is x plus 8. Well, from here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 1/2, just like we did in our last example. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to both sides. So I end up with 2x squared minus 32 is equal to the height. And I'm going to combine like terms in that bracket there. It's going to be 2x plus 8. Well, if I want to get the height by itself, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2x plus 8 on both sides of my equation. So what I have is 2x squared minus 32 over 2x plus 8 is equal to h. Now I'm not done. I want to try to simplify this even more. So just like on our last example, we're going to try to factor both the numerator and the denominator. So let's look at the numerator. the first thing I always try when we factor is that greatest common factor. So is there a greatest common factor between 2x squared and 32? The answer is yes. I can factor out a 2. So then I'm left with x squared minus 16. Now I'm not done factoring. We learned in our previous videos that we can go ahead and factor the x squared minus 16 because it's a difference of perfect squares. The square root of x squared is x and the square root of 16 is 4. So I can actually rewrite it as 2 times x plus 4 times x minus 4. So there's the numerator. Now let's go ahead and we want to factor the denominator. So the first thing that we should try when we factor is always the greatest common factor. So what's my greatest common factor between a 2x and an 8? Hopefully you said 2. And then I'm left with x plus 4 when I factor a 2 from there. So here is our expression. Our expression has now been factored to read 2 times the quantity x plus 4 times the quantity x minus 4 all over 2 times the quantity of x plus 4. I'm going to see if there's anything in the numerator and the denominator that will cancel. Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. That cancels. X plus 4 divided by x plus 4 cancels. So I end up with x minus h, or not h, I'm sorry, x minus 4 is my height. And when I talk about units here, my units are centimeters. So to review what we did here, you're going to go ahead and you're going to write the formula for areas. And you're going to plug in your variables. Do your division and isolate that variable. And then to finish it off, you're going to try to factor both the numerator and the denominator and see if any factors on the top cancels with the factors on the bottom. So there you go. On your next slide, you will get some practice on dealing with these. Great job.